Hello everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Pigskin Preview. I'm Danny Daniels, and we'll be talking about more of the county football action coming up this week. A lot of success among Walton County teams last Friday night, and David Johnson and I will get to that in just a bit. But right now joining us is a familiar face among Walton County football fans, and Coach Don Williams from George Walton Academy. Coach, let's go back 2 years first of all. You moved from the Georgia Independent School Association to the public school ranks. What was the reason for that?
Well, the reason was mainly for travel. We talked about it for years. We struggled with it for years. We liked where we were. It was a good league, independent league. The competition was good. Sometimes it was too good. But it was transportation and, just mileage getting to the game back and forth.
How long do you think the GISA can last now? So many teams dropping out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's always a place for the independent league. Again, I think it's a good league. They had good competition. It's good people. I hope it stays around. I enjoyed our time there, and the only reason we came was travel.
All right, you won 2 state championships in that league. Then you moved up to the GHSA. Were you concerned about moving up to that classification and playing against teams that you never played before?
Well, I guess you're always concerned about the unknown.
Yeah.
Our kids, most of them have come from a Brookwood or South Gwinnett or some Newton County or Rockdale County, so they've come from the public schools. All of our coaches grew up in the public schools. I coached in the public schools, so very familiar with, the public schools and so on, but the competition is going to be a little bit better. There were some good teams in the independent league. You didn't have as many, but the top 5 independent schools were very good, and but there's more of them, so
yeah.
It's just a little bit tougher road.
How about Region 8A that you ended up in? A lot of teams in that region. That's more like an upper tier and a lower tier, just like in GISA, but that upper 5 is pretty good.
It is, and I think maybe that's the way it is in single A football.
Yeah.
I know when I was down in Early County years ago, it was the same there. You had your kind of your haves and your have-nots. And it seems to be the same today. Commerce, year in, year out. I mean, they've got a storybook history. Athens Academy, they've got a storybook history. And, then you've got some new schools. Athens Christian Prince just started football not long ago. And we're kind of the new kids on the block. So, yeah, we had some concerns, but something that we had to do, and we've been kind of putting it off as long as we could. So it was time to go, and it was a good time for us because we was returning the nucleus of our state championship team.
And you go right into the first year in the GHSA and into the playoffs. So last year was a good year for you.
It was a good year. It's early in the season, our best football player, probably Zach Inman, got hurt. He missed the first 4 ball games. He missed Athens Academy, who beat us in double overtime for the region championship. And with him, we thought we had a shot at winning the region, which could have been a little bit different playoff story.
Okay, coming into this year, you played 3 games. You're 2-1 right now. lost a tough one to Early County that everybody was there, said you should have won the ball game, and did statistically. So is this year getting off to the kind of start you thought you would?
It is. We thought, we knew Warren County was going to be good. They returned a lot of speed, and they were very physical and fast in the line of scrimmage, as our line of scrimmage is awfully good. That's kind of our strong point. So we thought we matched up well with them, but just didn't know how we would do speed-wise this year with them. And, we played a good ball game, and we got down there several times and just made a couple mistakes and couldn't get it in the end zone, and played good, but we lost, and, a loss is a loss.
All right, got Riverside coming up this week, and Riverside not having the kind of year that they want to, but do you have to watch your team and not let them look ahead to next week in Athens Academy?
Well, you do. All we're trying to do is just get ourselves better. We want to come off the football better. We want to get our technique better. So it gives us a chance not to play maybe that tough opponent this week, and it gives us time to really maybe bone up on some of our techniques. So, our quarterback is in a new position this year. He's been a free safety and a wide receiver, and now he's a quarterback as a junior with no playing experience. And so we've worked a lot on our option, and he needs it, and he did a great job last week, and we're really going to focus on that again this week, and hopefully he'll take another step forward this week. And so, we are really worried more about ourselves than we do other people. If we go out there and play good, we've got a chance to win week in and week out. And if we don't play good, then you're not supposed to win. And that's the way most people are. So we spend most of our time just looking at what we do, and watching films and watching our films and critiquing ourselves. And if we do what we're supposed to do, then we've got a chance.
All right, good luck Friday night against Riverside.
Thank you.
All right, David Johnson's going to join us now. We'll talk about the rest of the county. All right, here now with sports writer David Johnson. David just got through talking with Coach Dunn, and you've worked with him closely for a lot of years, and he's really helped that program over there, and he's got George Walton in the GHSA, so he's got to be happy right now.
Yeah, they've been real pleased with it. Of course, they moved largely for travel. They were having to travel all over the state just during the regular season, and with the cost and getting out of class and that kind of thing, they really felt like they needed to make the move. And first time around, it worked out well for them.
And that surprised me. I'll admit it. I didn't know how competitive GWA was going to be against the athletes in Region 8A, but they more than held their own.
Oh yeah. They and if you look at a lot of GISA schools, a lot of people look down on the GISA and that kind of thing, but a lot of them that have moved in have done really well. And an example, the two teams that they'll play this week, George Walton and Riverside, they moved over and did quite well. So there's a numbers discrepancy, but the competition is pretty similar.
All right, speaking of competition, big game that comes up on Thursday night this week is Loganville Christian Academy and Covenant Christian, and it's a border war, bragging rights in that league, and it's a rivalry, but thank goodness it's a friendly rivalry.
Right. And this could, it's kind of nice. You always want these inter-county rivalries. That's one thing we've missed a lot in Walton County. Hadn't had a lot of really good ones. And this is really developing into a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
And this game this year particularly is going to be big. It could be a preview of the IGSCA state championship game. Both teams are really on a roll. And so Covenant's the defending state champs. LCA's coming in at 4-0. So could be interesting.
All right, they're going to play it at LCA. Starts at 7:30 on Thursday night. And I don't know, I'm getting hoarse here. But anyway, Coming up also on Friday night, Social Circle going to go for their first win of the year, and it almost looks like they're going a little bit backwards, and that's really sad for Coach David Seawright.
Yeah, they've had a tough time here early. Fortunately, they had a week off last week. Their bye probably couldn't have come at a better time. They really needed to take a break after taking it on the chin 2 weeks in a row. Getting this team, they haven't scored since the first quarter of the season opener, and they have really struggled. I talked to Coach Seawright earlier in the week, and he, it's just they're young. They're really struggling to get on their feet and get going. And starting their Region 8A schedule this week, and it's not going to be an easy one. Athens Christian, normally that was, that's a team they could really hang with, not one of the top teams in the region, but they've turned it around this year. They're already 2-2. They won 2 games all of last year and have already won 2 this year. So it's not going to be easy for Social Circle by any means this week.
You Redskin fans, be sure to stand behind this team. They're going to win. It's not going to be a big year for them this year, it doesn't look like, but Seawright has really got things moving over there. He's got people involved in the program, and it's your support that's going to get them over the top, whether it's this year or next year. So get out to the ball game on Friday night. All right, moving on. Who else we got this week? Riverside and George Walton Academy. Should be fairly one-sided.
Yeah. This used to be a really big game when both of these teams were in GISA. Every year it seemed like it was for the region championship. They were really some titanic battles, but just the past couple of years, for some reason, Riverside has really hit rock bottom. They were 2-8 last year, and they're probably worse this year. They're 0-4 at this point. They've been shut out 3 straight games. So you got to figure if the only thing, this could be a trap game for George Walton. They've got Athens Academy coming up next week, which will be the game of the year for them, regular season. So as long as they make sure they don't look past Riverside, they should be able to take care of business with this one.
That's one thing I talked to Coach Don about when we talked earlier in this program. Was he worried? And he really said he wasn't, but he's got a young team, and you can't ever tell.
No, you never know what's going to happen with a bunch of young guys. But like I said, they managed. They got a little scare last week against Hebron, but they came back strong and pretty much took care of that. So hopefully they'll do the same thing this week.
All right, Loganville's at home on Friday night, 7:30 kickoff time against Salem, and every game seems like it's a must-win in that region.
Oh yeah, it's. Like I mentioned last week, there's probably 3 teams locked into that top spot.
Yeah.
So that one spot that's left over, Loganville's got to win. They've got to win this game. It's a key for both of these teams. Salem's already got 2 losses. It's probably going to take 7-3 to get that 4th playoff spot.
Yeah.
So and of course Loganville's got Clark Central coming up next week. So they really need to win the games that they should win, against the other teams that they're battling for that 4th playoff spot. So this will be a good game. I think they're well matched, and so we'll see.
Monroe area is going to be, on the road this week?
At Chestatee.
Going up north of Gainesville, or around Gainesville, someplace. I've never been to Chestatee. But they beat Chestatee last year, but Chestatee undefeated right now.
Yeah, and this is it's kind of a homecoming for Coach Fligg. He started this program back in 2002. And so I know he's excited to get up there and see his old stomping grounds. And I know he's happy for the program. They've done really well, and they're really rolling right now. Of course, he's obviously a lot more concerned about his own team right now. And this is a team, I think, Monroe, that's kind of won despite itself so far. They've overcome turnovers to win a game. Last week, I couldn't believe my ears when I heard this, 33 penalties in that game last week, and 17 for them. But they managed to overcome that. But if they're going to really contend, they're going to have to overcome those kind of mistakes, the turnovers and penalties, as they start getting into their region schedule or sub-region schedule.
All right, running out of time. Walnut Grove's going to be at North Hall, and another big ball game for Walnut Grove. But they proved they can win football games.
Oh yeah, they're looking. This team is night and day from last year. They're really a solid team, fundamentally looking good. Probably should have, as Coach Soto said, they had a few more seconds and a couple extra plays last week. They maybe pull that game out. So, but and on paper looks like they have a shot this week. Like they should win. North Hall's 0-3, but that's a very deceptive 0-3. The teams that North Hall's played, they're combined 6-1 right now, and one of those losses was to Buford, the 3-time AA state champs. So that's North Hall. They're haven't won yet, but they've played a tough non-league schedule. So it's going to be another tough game for Walnut Grove on the road.
I want to see Buford and LSU play. All right.
It'll be a close one.
That's going to wrap it up. Go to high school football game this Friday night. We'll see you next time.